Bryant, I'm an addict.
Good, Brian.
Um, wow, this is my first time at the meeting, and I just think, you know, this is my story. The other day, it's been 60 days. Um, and this is the time that I should be in a meeting right now. I know this is Friday. I never been to a meeting on the weekends, like a Friday or a Saturday. But what I notice is I'm taking the inventory, say step 8 or what? Take an inventory, step 4, search and fairly more inventory of ourselves. At step 4, I'm writing down my weaknesses, and I notice I keep having those temptations on Fridays and Saturdays. I'm like, so and I thank one of the brothers in the meeting for bringing me here on a Friday. I never been to a meeting like a Friday. It's usually like a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday. And I think a meeting is very important on a Friday and a Saturday. Temptations is at its greatest, at its highest. You know what I'm saying? Especially for me. I remember it was a time, I had like 54 stitches in my wrist. I kind of like OD'd off of alcohol at one point, and I was partying. It was on a Friday, going into that Saturday, you know what I'm saying? And, it was like, I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, you know what I'm saying? And, sometimes when you're in show business, it's good to have the right type of management, because they can steer you in all different type of directions, and sex trafficking and all these different type of things. And I just thank my higher power for me to overcome those things. You know what I'm saying? My drug of choice was synthetic marijuana and alcohol. A lot of people, it's crazy. My mom died when I was 5 years old due to heroin. I was born as a crack baby. I got cocaine in my blood. You know what I'm saying? So, so I may not abuse that drug, but I can relate, to the crack and the heroin from that point of view. When my mother shared those needles when I was inside her belly. It took a long time for me to open up and share my story publicly. Like the brothers say, who are you pointing fingers at other people? Them fingers is pointing back at you. And the other, and so, it was times that I was using a credit card too to get, my drug of choice, my alcohol and stuff. And credit cards is very important. I'm in debt right now, with student loan, but it's slowly being paid for. I applied for loan forgiveness, and I thank God, my higher power, for that. Whatever. At this point in my life, the program itself is my higher power. But I don't have a family either. You know what I'm saying? This meeting is my family. Most of my family members, a lot of them do drugs. And like Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving just passed, so I'm like, I'm trying to find something going on for the holidays. This Thanksgiving, I was on a date. I had a lapse. They say honesty, right? Honesty is one of the part of the things of the programs. I had champagne. I was on a date. I had champagne, and she was like passive aggressive. I was in an apartment. Just telling her, I'm in recovery. She said, I don't want to go through that recovery stuff. I'm not trying to hear that, Brian. I'm not, you in my house. You're gonna do it. This is my rules. This is the queen house. This is my rules. So anything you could say, so at that point, even though I'm fighting it, but it's like when you're in somebody else's house, it's like that passive aggressive can be so forceful. That energy can be so forceful, and it kind of like I didn't know really what to do. I was away from home. When I'm home, it's that's like my rehab. That's like my sober house. But I was away from home. I was on a date. So I'm like, I didn't know when you date, it's very important to make sure they respect your recovery. That's what I learned, Even though it was a lapse, I was talking to one of the brothers in the program. I realized I researched between a relapse and a lapse. So, because I was kind of like hard on myself, I called one of the brothers. He said, you relapsed. I said, no, it's a lapse. Because just by going through that humiliation and I know that's a part of the program, but that can damn you more. So I just try to be careful with me taking that lapse because I can go into deeper, depression and stuff. So, it's okay. It was a lapse. It's different from relapse. And I realized that's a part of recovery. And I kept an emergency list. And one of the brothers in the program said, let it roll off your back. I told him, he said, that's my saying too. I said, let it roll off your back like wood on a duck. That's what I'm going to do. He said, that's what part of my saying too. And, thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Thank you.